Did you set client goals in your course? Are they helping them or failing them? In this video, we're going to set course goals for success. Hi, I'm Dr. Catrina Mitchum, and I have been designing courses for adults since 2009. So, clear, concrete, meaningful goals are an important foundational piece to any course. If you don't believe me, go watch last week's video. They're the foundation that you build everything else on, because every step they take, every piece of content you give them, everything you're asking them to do is going to be connected to the goals that you're helping them reach. So what makes a good course goal? We are going to use a common tool called SMART goals, but we're going to use them a little bit differently because we're not setting them for ourselves. We are setting them for the people taking our courses. When we're using SMART goals in course design, we are focusing on the question, what will they be able to do when they're done? So our SMART goals need to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant. The last one is time-bound. We're going to dig into time-bound a little bit later in this video. So I'm going to give you an example of a SMART goal that we're going to break down, and it's going to be our running example for this video. So a goal for a marketing course might be increase the email marketing campaign open rate by 15% by optimizing subject line and content and tracking progress through email marketing software to enhance customer engagement. Okay, let's roll right into specific. So when I was working on this example, the specific goal that I identified was to improve the email marketing campaign's open rate by 15%. Right? That is the very specific thing that we want done by the end of the course. Having a very specific goal helps your learner by knowing what they're getting themselves into, right? What is the end goal here? And it helps you by remembering to always and only come back to the things that are going to help them have that open rate, right? So if you are trying to get them content on Instagram when you're supposed to be focusing on open rates and email marketing, then that's a problem. So it can help keep you grounded. The second part of SMART goals is the M, and that is measurable. So for this example, the measurable aspect that I identified was getting a starting point and monitoring the open rates through an email marketing software. This was an easy one because most email marketing software programs already have that built in, but you can also create measurable goals for squishy things like building self-confidence. You can have people rate the before and after, right? You have to have something that measures improvement, even if it's improvement of things you can't see. The A in SMART is for achievable. And so it needs to be something focused enough that it can be accomplished within that specific goal. And so for this one, for the example of email marketing, I picked optimizing the subject lines and content. Those are things that are very concrete. And so the achievable piece needs to be something very concrete that you're having them do and is achievable within the time frame of your course so that you are able to give them feedback. So subject lines are something that they can constantly be working on, and you can go back and forth on those subject lines. You can improve email content over time. That is something that's achievable. It should be concrete, but not so big that it's not possible within that time frame. In a squishy example, we might say improve self-confidence during small talk as opposed to improving self-confidence overall, or improving self-confidence in setting boundaries. That might be one. Or holding boundaries. Those are probably those might be two different things, two different goals, because they're two very different achievable specific outcomes. Okay, our next letter in SMART is R, and R stands for relevant. Now this relevancy piece is not necessarily something that you will pull in immediately to the goal when you're telling people what the goal is. But it's something that's going to be really, really useful in your marketing, and it's going to be really, really useful in your course map. So the relevant piece that I came up with for our example is that high open rates can lead to increased customer engagement. And so the reason why we're focusing on the open rates for our email marketing aspect of our business is because of the impact that it will have. It'll have an impact on customer engagement. Now, I have a 5 whys activity built into my course maker guide. So if you're interested in that, I have it linked. And this piece, this relevancy goes really well with that particular activity. The final letter in SMART is timely. And timely is an aspect of SMART goals that I tend to take a little bit of issue with. Just because time is relative, right? And different people have different perceptions of time, and it's cultural, and that's a whole other video series. Actually, it's probably a whole other channel. But for us, timely is going to be very closely connected to achievable, right? So it needs to be achievable, and that they can do it in the amount of time you're anticipating. And so again, this isn't necessarily something that you'll articulate in when you tell people what the goals are of the course, but it is going to be something that's going to help you stay on track and be realistic about how much time certain things are going to take in the course. Because part of your market research should include information about them as a learner and how much time they have. How much time do they have in a week? Take the amount of time they think they have in a week and cut it in half, and that's probably a bit more realistic. And so if you are anticipating them being able to adjust their subject lines and their content in their emails in order to be able to increase their open rate, think about how much time that is going to actually need to take. How much time do they have? You can set the parameters of the course based on that, so your course design can be based on that, and also articulate to them how much time you anticipate it spending. Don't give concrete, thou shalt get this done in 6 months. If you don't have an increase in your open rate by 15% within 6 months, then you're not doing it right. Don't take that stance. You should be spending 5 hours a week doing this work, and then in 6 months, you should have an increase of 15%. Focus more on using the time piece of the SMART goals to help you sort of negotiate expectations for timeliness, for how long this might take you. And it should be a range. It should never be, this is going to take you 5 hours, because different people accomplish different things at different times or at different rates, because they have different experiences and different skill levels, and your newer to email marketing folks might struggle more than your folks that are just needing a refresh on their email marketing. Okay, after I had all of those SMART pieces, what I did was I wrote up the goal that you see. I also asked AI. So I am a firm believer of human in the loop. And so don't have AI create all of your goals, because they won't be great. If you do ask AI to help you create the SMART goals, then you'll want to make sure that you check them, right? Always remember that you are the expert in the thing that you are trying to teach. So the prompt that I used was act as an email marketing expert, right? You'll always want to tell it to act as the expert, and use the elements of this SMART goal to write a single sentence goal for my course on increasing your email marketing open rate, or whatever the title of the course is. And then I pasted each piece of the SMART goal in there. And so that is another way that you can take all of these kind of disparate pieces and use AI to help you pull them together in a way that makes sense. Now, don't ever just copy and paste it. Please look at it to make sure that it is actually something that is specific and achievable and measurable and relevant. And you'll probably have to take some pieces out. So if you include the relevancy and the time pieces that aren't really going to be in the goal that you share with them, but are going to be useful to you, then what you get from the AI is going to have all of it in there. And so you might need to take some pieces out or reword some pieces to make it understandable to somebody that's not an expert in the thing. Good goals align with what your students are trying to achieve. And so creating these SMART goals are not the end all be all for your course. They are the starting point and the foundation. And next, it should be about asking people that might buy the course, is this a goal that aligns with you? And sometimes it will be, and sometimes it won't be. And that might be because you happen to know better than them, because you're an expert in the thing. And that's something that you'll have to negotiate as you continue to develop your design. Part of the reason why it's so important to create goals as your foundation is because expectations impact our emotions and our success in learning. And so if I come in with certain expectations or certain goals of my own and they completely don't align with the ones that you've created for the course, then my expectations aren't being met. I'm going to get frustrated. I'm likely going to get angry personally. I'm going to start leaving bad reviews. I'm going to ask for refunds. There's a whole lot of negative things that come from not having set concrete goals that you're also sharing with the people that are taking the course. There is also a problem with creating goals and doing that sharing, but then never actually using them to build the foundations of the course, to make your course map. So really, setting the goals and articulating them and kind of co-creating them with people speaks to their motivations, their expectations, and their emotions. And those things drive the success of a course because it impacts the success of your client. Client success equals course success. Goals are the starting point. And in next week's video, we'll cover why and how to give options for customer success. In the meantime, if you're looking for more support in revisiting or creating your goals, check out my Course Maker guide or book a strategy session.